puns, and now we have shifted to volleyball puns. That's what we've done.
It's looking that way, yes.
If we keep it up, we could hit all the sports by next Tuesday.
Was that a pun or not? I was really expecting that. Why would you not put a pun there? You're Mr. Pun.
We served it up for you.
Yeah. You missed it, even though it was in. That 11-year-old called it out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna block any more puns and tell you to tell us about AmFam instead.
Indeed, I will. And calling all Packer fans, American Family Insurance wants to see you and a friend in Detroit for this year's draft. Enter the Dream Draft Day sweepstakes for the chance to win 2 tickets to the draft, travel and hotel accommodations to Detroit, which again is Jesse's dream location, and you get a custom jersey and much, much more. Go to amfam.com/Packers to learn more and to enter. Again, that's amfam.com/Packers. You know what? I think with what they're saying, I also think you're going to get Detroit-style pizza will get thrown in there too. I think we could add that in.
We would ask Dan Kelly, but he's retired, so we'll have to ask somebody else.
Everyone on the text line is now providing their credentials with the text that they're sending.
I love it. I love it. We'll get some more of your text messages, 844-770-3776. I need to vet this report that Tausch sent us, that the NFL is...
You don't trust Mike Florio?
No, but this was from some other...
No, Florio is a reporter. This is an aggregator.
@_ML football.
I don't follow Florio. I'm so sick of his stuff that I now get his stuff secondhand, which makes me feel better.
Okay.
Even though Florio has been doing this 28 years, it has all the credentials you'd want.
Just ask him. He'll tell you.
Oh, he will definitely tell you.
It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
On March 8th, the Ability Center is hosting its second annual Unstoppable Cup presented by Baird at the Harry and Rose Sampson Family Jewish Community Center. It's a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball fundraiser for all abilities. Featuring Milwaukee area corporations and first responders representing 24 teams, the Unstoppable Cup supports the Ability Center's adaptive sports programs to help impact the goal of getting new sport wheelchairs in more gyms, more schools, and with more partners so everybody can play together. Support the Ability Center's Unstoppable Cup by visiting TACWI.org.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Menominee Falls sophomore hockey player Cooper Simon. Simon is a forward on the Brookfield East co-op team. The Brookfield Stars just completed its season. A Cinderella-esque run that included an overtime winner from Simon in the state semifinal game over number 1 seed Chippewa Falls. It was a game where the Stars at one point trailed 4-1. Simon helping the team come back before he even put the puck in the back of the net, assisting on 3 goals. The run did end with a championship game loss to top seed Notre Dame, but overall a huge step in the right direction for Simon and Milwaukee area hockey. Just the 4th time since 2010 that a Milwaukee area team made it to the championship game. Simon finished with 66 points in just 29 games this season for the Stars.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice-cold Coors Light and chill. Take the afternoon off and binge watch anything. Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours. Who's counting anyways? Or hang out with just your dog, because you've had enough human interaction this week. Whatever you do, do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold Refreshment made to chill. 2020 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Q Club of Wisconsin is a hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
We have so much going on. We're the place to be for basketball season, with TVs everywhere. Book a party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Sign up for summer bocce leagues now before they fill up. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out qclubofwisconsin.com.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
We'll get to the 18-game schedule a little bit later when Brian Bulaga arrives.
Give it a little more vetting time.
I do need more vetting time. Because, by the way, I know you're not a huge fan of Mike Florio, but even he points out that this almost certainly would not happen until the next collective bargaining agreement, which is still 7-8 years away. So I don't know if it's impending. I got to do some more research on that. There is some breaking news from the NFL, though. And I thought this guy was going to make it to free agency for the first time in his career. I mean, he is Mr. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right?
Hall of Famer.
Never had a non-1,000-yard season. Mike Evans has reached an agreement on a 2-year deal to stay with Tampa Bay as opposed to going into free agency. 2 years, $52 million, $35 million guaranteed. So that is an inflated number, the first one I gave you there. But $35 million guaranteed is nothing to sneeze at.
What's inflated about it?
Well, I'm guessing that there are some numbers there to make it look larger because I don't think any wide receiver that is at his point in his career is getting $26 million. That's legit $26 million.
If he's getting 35 guaranteed over 2 years, I wouldn't think it's not. Jason, the cap went up another $31 million.
It's true.
CeeDee Lamb's going to get 30 plus. The numbers are going to continue to look crazy, but in the grand scheme of things, they're not. It's going to still be percentage of the cap and how you want to allocate things. This is the price of doing business, and I would bet, depending on where Jordan Love ends up landing, he's going to be. I don't think I'm going to say this because it sounds crazy.
Uh-oh.
I think he's going to be closer to $60 million a year than $50. No, legit, he will have that because Dak Prescott is going to reset the market if he gets a new deal.
Sound graph.
What is right now? Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, the highest paid quarterbacks are $54 million. Is the salary cap going up crazily as we sit?
It did. It jumped $30 million, like 13%. Yeah.
So the Packers are sitting here, and they have 1 year left with Jordan Love. Is it, Jordan has not proven himself to the degree of those guys, but that's not what you're paying for. You are paying for Jordan Love to be an all-pro. So do I think his number will be higher than the highest paid guy right now? I guarantee you that's what Jordan's team is looking at. And this Mike Evans contract, Matter of fact, when I was driving in, listening to Unsportsmanlike, Chris Canty, he is a very smart football guy. He knows his numbers and everything inside. He was like, that seems low. The same opposite of what you just said.
Wow.
He said, that seems low. What that tells me is his agent's down at the combine, and he's a 30-plus, 31, 32?
He's going to be 31 during the season, yes.
Again, that even at wideout, people are very skeptical of paying guys top dollar. I'm guessing he was looking at it, and Tampa had an offer on the table, probably 24. And I'm guessing he's snooping around saying, Kansas City, what are you into? Hey, what do you think? Hey, New England, oh, you guys got all this cap. And they're all like, yeah, a lot of good young wideouts. The number you're going to get is about 24, 25, and he's probably looking at saying, well, I can finish my career in Tampa, know what I'm getting, they're going to know how I am.
The Aaron Jones concept.
That's how that works, and I would bet Aaron Jones's new deal will be announced sometime this week before he gets to free agency. So all of this, and you saw Kirk Cousins, it's all a big game of either manufacturing leverage or actually having some, and for the players that have leverage, they go to market. The ones that don't sign with their old teams.
Mm-hmm. Just so you know, after your proclamation, I do declare.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, $55 million average.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes, $52.65 million average. Justin Herbert, $52.5 average. Lamar Jackson, $52 million average.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts, 51. Aaron Rodgers, 50.3. Those are your over $50 million a year average per year
all
salaries.
Fair. But Jordan Love, this is going to be the interesting part because the Packers obviously want him. Does Jordan Love want to be, I'm going to get every last nickel out of this team? Or is he going to look at it and say, I still have some to prove, I'm good with 52? I can't imagine him taking less than 50. And if he's going to push, he is in that position. He's young. He's ascending. And the last thing he's going to want to do is sign a 5-year deal. And then 2 years, it's going to be, oh, well, so-and-so, J.J. McCarthy just got a $68, $70 million deal. That's that balancing act that you have to look at. And that's why what Jordan did in that back half, he's not going to be taking under $50 million a year. I think we can all agree on that. Then my proclamation is going to be closer to 55.1, or is it going to be closer to 54.9? I would venture to say if he really wants to maximize it, it's going to be in that mid-50s, closer to 60 than it would be closer to 50.
So,
remember Rob said 35? Boy, Packers would have
the season was still going at that point,
with that.
in fairness. Yeah, and they'll be like locking in at gas prices at like $2.49, which was still a good idea by you. So he's got to be over $55 million per year for your statement to be factual.
The question will be, what is Kirk Cousins going to get off of an Achilles? Minnesota doesn't want to pay him what he wants. That's why he puts the video out last week. And all of a sudden you start hearing Shefty and everybody saying, Mike Tannenbaum talking this morning about Atlanta's going to go get Kirk Cousins. And it makes sense. Same system. What is he going to get? And then Dak will reset the market. So if you're a Green Bay Packer fan, you would have loved to have been able to negotiate in midseason and get him done in Thanksgiving.
So that was his prediction would have been right. Although that's not what you predicted, I was told.
No, it's 2024. Again,
never clarified which Thanksgiving.
No clarification, and that's fair. You can manipulate and all that. But that's where if Dak gets 60 and then all of a sudden Patrick Mahomes is going to redo his deal again, you know that cycle of how this works. And Jordan Love is going to be next guy up. I just don't envision him going to be taking a lot less than what, we said Daniel Jones was the floor. Well, he vastly exceeded anything Daniel Jones has ever done with that 10-game run last year.
Correct.
So the Packers, it's going to be a kind of a battle as far as, all right, we'll give you the year average per years, but the guarantee we're going to do this. That's what's going to be the fighting point when it comes to this, because both sides want this done, and both sides will get it done.
All right. The Spotrac projection, which obviously Jason at Spotrac has done this for a really long time. He's a very sharp guy.
Okay.
We had this last week. He projects 4 years, $200 million.
That's $50 a year,
including $150 million of it practically guaranteed. So that's like.
So, in fairness, because I see there's a little Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson signed his deal, and it was all guaranteed. And then what happened? The guarantees was the guarantees, but why they sat him at the end of the year is because there's injury guarantees, and that $39 million that he thought was guaranteed isn't guaranteed because he ain't playing. Because they thought, well, they ain't gonna cut him and take a $40 million all this. And then Denver's like, no, we're good. Yeah, we'll take that cap hit. We'll move on.
Well, $50 million on average is his projection. We'll see if he gets higher.
I would tell you this
than
right
that.
now: if the Green Bay Packers could sign him to that deal that old boy at Spot Track is saying, they'd do it today.
Yeah, I would agree. It will not be $35 million. I am curious to see if it ends up being less, though, at less than 50, because maybe we are all getting over.
You're going to give Russ Ball deserves oogles of credit for how he does things. He is a very sharp, and for the Green Bay Packers, you see all these other teams, the New Orleans Saints and everybody else, that just can never get themselves right. The Packers took their lumps in salary cap, and now they're coming out of it. And they have a lot of cheap, young talent that they can manipulate and go and spend on some of these other spots, including their star quarterback that they're going to want to lock up for an extended period of time.
Agreed. They are in a great position, as we have talked about. The only drawback to what they've done at wide receiver is that all those guys will be free agents at the same time, and that's less than
not
ideal.
really true. Christian Watson, Dobbs, it'll stagger a little bit, but
a little bit, but not
my
as much as
question, I
usual.
guess, was: you don't think does any Packer fan really want a veteran wideout to come in now? Because last year it was all about Devontae. It would have been, and now I'm looking at this and saying that is the one spot I don't. You want to add another young stud? I'm on board, but to pay a Mike Evans or something else, $27-28 million, no interest in that at all.
I don't think Goody does either.
I think a veteran running back might be something though, because Saquon, they said 10 to 12 a year. There is a lot. Josh Jacobs. There's a lot of guys that are going to be out there not getting what they want. All of a sudden, do you care if you go and get somebody else that you can pair up with Aaron Jones and feel great about? I wouldn't. I would go young, and I'm sure that's what the Packers are, but there could get to a point where that market is so suppressed that Green Bay is like, dang, we can get Josh Jacobs on a 1-year $7. That might be worth the price of doing business.
I would agree. Time now to play some trivia so we can get to Brian Bulaga somewhat on time during the 10 o'clock hour and then keep him until about 11:30. Jesse, what's today's category and which caller would you like?
It is the Sports Weekend Recap, and I've never been more prepared for the Sports Weekend Recap. I was up Saturday night at my hotel getting ready for the big Bowl Stream broadcast. I'll tell you about the late checkout later.
It's a question we all have.
But I had the up until the wee hours of the morning getting ready. I had the Sports Center re-air like 2 or 3 times hit while I was doing all my prep. So I even heard things multiple times. So ready for the Sports Weekend Recap.
Well, I just heard you do your Sports Center, and you're trying to say Marquette's a top 5 team, and they're not going to be a top 5 team.
They lost.
Yeah, they didn't even make it to Sports Center on Saturday.
No, but I'm saying they made your local Sports Center, and you did some serious word salading.
Right now, UConn and Marquette are top 5 teams.
But the poll came out yesterday, so no, they're not.
The poll came out today. It comes out. It hasn't come out yet.
So there has been no new poll.
Not yet. It comes out at like noon.
I would bet if we fact-checked you, you might be in trouble. Maybe. I'm not going to do it, so don't worry about it.
Jesse, did you call many 7-10 splits?
There was one guy that had back-to-back 7-10 splits.
They did not.
It was brutal. Yeah, it was brutal. So there were actually more 7-10 splits yesterday than I think any tournament we've called so far.
Why is that brutal? That's like the most exciting thing in bowling.
Well, not if you don't get it.
No, it's not. Yeah, and no one ever makes it.
Oh, no. Well, then you didn't get a 7-10 split.
He didn't make a 7-10 split. He got a 7-10 split.
Yeah, I was looking for. Did you get that? I'm sorry. I thought I was more clear. I know you've been officiating and
Why
you've been
don't you
calling
be a little
bowling
more
for a
clear
long
like you did when
time.
you chewed that ref out yesterday?
I don't want you to have to state your credentials.
If you got a 7-10 split, that means you accomplished it. Otherwise, it's just two pins laying out on the...
Then what happens when you get a 7-10 split? When you bowl a first ball and the result is a 7-10 split, what do you say happened?
All right, I take it back. I should have said, did you call any 7-10 split
I told you my Grandma
conversions?
Pearl got a
It's my
7-10
fault.
split, made the newspaper way back in the day.
You did
right?
mention Grandma Pearl.
Maybe one of her shining moments athletically. 7-10
Did
split.
they play the One Shining Moment song?
I think if we could have done it over, we would have given her a One Shining Moment.
Caller
17
17 in honor of the 7-10 splits that were not converted but may have been called when they were first struck on the ball number 1. Caller 17-844-770.
When you have a 7-10, are you going for the far right side and try to kick it, or is it you try to spin it and go boom left kick?
Now, your best chance is if you're a right-handed bowler, you go for the 10 pin and you throw it as hard as you can. You hope you can ricochet it off the back and boing, it goes over to the 7.
Gotcha.
Caller 17-844-770-3776. We'll play trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way, I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette Recap, I'm Ashton Rotman. A depleted roster on Saturday at Creighton means some big performances would be needed for the Golden Eagles, and David Joplin did his best to deliver.
Cam Jones still dribbling, back out to Joplin on the perimeter. 12 to shoot. Joplin
my goodness!
Oh, baby!
David Joplin, wow.
21 points for Jop, but Creighton pulled away late, winning 89-75 and handing Marquette their first loss in nearly 2 weeks. A showdown with UConn is up next for the Golden Eagles on Wednesday night.
Who makes dental and vision insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. If you ask yourself who encourages you to use your dental and vision benefits for preventative care, provides quick service, offers access to the largest provider networks, and helps you save money when you need more than a checkup, there's only one answer. Definitely Delta Dental. For more information, call Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Rick Papandrea is joining me. How special is it for you being able to watch people see their quality of life return?
There's no doubt that the efficiency is great for everybody. It's very rewarding as a surgeon to take care of somebody and see them get better. But to have them come in and do it in a seamless fashion is really exciting. One case comes to mind. We had a young girl who was doing some cartwheels, and she came in with a broken elbow, and everything lined up, maybe more so than even is typical. She needed special care. She needed her elbow fixed with a very particular fracture that is difficult to fix. And not only is it difficult to fix, but it can be somewhat complicated by stiffness. So with my specialty of my background, I do a lot of elbow arthroscopy, which isn't very common. And we had her in the operating room later that day where I was able to arthroscopically reduce and fix her elbow fracture. And she was back to a normal kid about 2 months later.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Cousin Subs is stepping up their game this Lenten season with a decadent delight featuring lobster. You heard that right, lobster. This new limited-time only lobster salad sub features lobster mixed with Cousin's signature mayo over a bed of lettuce and topped with onions, tomato, and Old Bay seasoning on their famous Italian bread, baked fresh daily. Order the new lobster salad sub at any Cousin's location, online or via their mobile app. Cousin Subs, we believe in better.
We've told you about Moses Hadara,
the diamond cutter who created the Kessler 81.
The magical diamond that vibrates with light.
Kessler's works with crazy diamond cutters.
Geniuses who create wonderful, spectacular,
crazy diamond shapes.
The one thing these crazy genius diamonds all have in common
is that they explode with light.
The Kessler Emerald Cut diamond sends out rippling waves of light, like water lapping onto a beach.
The Kessler Square Radiant Diamond glows like the sun on the horizon.
Sometimes sunrise.
Sometimes sunset.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Ask to see the rippling waves of light, like water on the beach.
Ask to see the glow that looks like sunrise and sunset.
Ask to see the Kessler Crazy Genius Diamonds.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Pains me to say that Jesse is right in that the AP Top 25 men's college basketball poll will not come out until noon. However, Tausch's point about the Sports Center, the Marquette Golden Eagles will no longer be a top 5 team when that comes out because of their defeat.
But right now, it is a top 5
You're
matchup.
splitting some hairs there, Mr. Volleyball official.
Yeah, I respect that.
Okay. We'll see how accurate the trivia questions are. It's time for trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant from the beautiful community of Mount Horeb. It is Ace. Ace, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Jay Bird. What's up?
Is Ace related to Scuba Chad? Is there any relation there?
No relation to Scuba Chad. No.
I thought for a second, but it definitely doesn't sound like Scuba Chad at all.
Yeah, no, but the way you said Jay Bird,
I understood where you were going.
It was a little Scuba Chaddy.
Yes, it had a little Scuba Chaddishness to it.
Had a Scuba Chad accent to it. Yeah. All right, Ace, here we go. The category is the Sports Weekend Recap. Jesse, do you want to draw the winner now, even though Ace isn't one of the players from last week?
Sure, Riley and Strope. We had 2 producers. Neither of them remembered to draw the trivia winner. In fairness, you got distracted by love letters,
why
which
don't
is
I
fair.
read the first question, then you draw, and we'll go that route.
Go for it, Tausch.
Okay.
There we go. Iowa's Caitlin Clark. What is that look? This way we're multitasking. We're moving forward.
What a strange thing to propose, but okay, sure.
All right, you're welcome. Caitlin Clark passed which legendary player to set the all-time NC2A basketball scoring record in hours?
Eat the pistol.
There you go.
Maravich.
Pistol Pete.
Let me just tell you how poorly this has gone for Jesse. Jesse did not get to draw the winner, which he wanted to do. Then Ace gave his answer without the options, so Jesse didn't get to hear read across the options. Pistol Pete Maravich, Dirty Doug McDermott.
Is he dirty?
Or Wild Wilt Chamberlain.
Wilt was wild.
Wilt Chamberlain was wild, but at the same time, he was Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, as opposed to Pistol Pete Maravich.
Why they were funny.
Yes,
Jesse,
he was.
how about we read question 2 and then you pick last week's winner?
I've already drawn it, but why not? Sure.
What's going on?
Question 2 is this. Which of these teams is currently...
Oh, my God.
Like right now, before noon.
ranked number 1 in the men's basketball AP poll. Now, this could change at noon.
You got an hour. You got one. A good thing we didn't do this at the end of the show.
Oh, jeez.
Number 1 in the country in men's basketball. Is it Purdue, UConn, or Houston?
Oh, my gosh. Let's go with Houston.
I would have never gotten that.
Jesse, the more important question is, will they still be number 1 in 2 hours?
I don't think they lost last week, but I didn't watch SportsCenter Wednesday. I watched it on Saturday, and I know they beat Oklahoma in a tight one.
Your top 5 for another hour and 56 minutes. Houston, Purdue, UConn, Tennessee, Marquette. Jesse, who you got for the winner? Oh, wait, let's do question 3 first.
Okay. Former Wisconsin Mr. Basketball Marcus Damask You really wanted me to screw
You're
that up.
such a dumbass.
Led Illinois to a win at the Kohl Center over Wisconsin on Saturday. Which Wisconsin high school did Marcus Damask attend? Is it Kakana, Waupun, or La Crosse Central?
He actually played against my son, so Waupun.
Did you ever yell at the refs?
No, I'm sure Ace would never do such a thing. All right, 3 for 3. That means you've got 4 entries into the drawing that Jesse is going to do on Friday, not the one that he just did while we were playing. Ace, thanks for playing. We appreciate you, buddy.
Great job, fellas. Have a great day. Enjoy listening to the show.
I'm not.
For 1.
I'm not
Love you
doing
guys.
You guys, I'm not doing that. Big fan.
for 1.
Nice job by Ace.
All right,
Little
Jesse, who was
three-piece
last
nugget
week's
for
winner?
Ace.
It'd be really something if it was Ace.
Congratulations to a first-time contestant, but not your guy that went 0 for 3 on Friday. Steve in Appleton. Last
Way to
week's
go,
winner
Steve!
from a Wisconsin Geography
Wait, isn't
Double
that
Wednesday.
That's Josh's dad.
That is Josh's dad. Yeah, that's
Wow.
right. Yeah. Steve in Appleton. Nicely done.
Got my brother, Helmut, text me last night and said that he was watching Hamilton and he cannot get Josh in Heartland's Hamilton song out of his head when he was watching the show.
We're going to have some big news about that and the other headlines coming maybe this week. Stay tuned on that.
Well, it'll have to be till Wednesday because you're...
I am off Thursday and Friday. We got something in the works with the headlines. Stay tuned.
Wait, you're off Thursday and Friday, too?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll be here, and I'll be here for the 10 o'clock hour with both of these two, and we will get to some of the combine takeaways, if there were any, from Goody's conversations during the week. We'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour tardy in 2 minutes. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Getting up to 5% back is easy at Fleet Farm. Fleet Rewards members can earn up to 5% back on every purchase, in-store and online. The earnings stack up automatically. The more you buy, the more you earn. No rebates, no coupons, no hassles. And Fleet Rewards membership is easy, so sign up now and start earning up to 5% back on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Join Shaka Smart, Jen Latta, and special guest Tyler Kolick on Thursday, March 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. for Marquette Thursdays at Motor Bar and Restaurant on the Harley-Davidson Museum campus.
No Tyler Kolick, no O.C. Godaro. Sickness is on the sideline, and still Marquette hung around on Saturday against Creighton.
Joplin on the perimeter, 12 to shoot. Joplin!
Oh, my goodness!
Oh, baby!
David Joplin, wow.
Job and Cam Jones combining for 44 points in the game, but Creighton proved to be too much in the end, shooting 41% from 3 to open things up and beat Marquette 89-75. Next up, it's a chance at redemption for the Golden Eagles, who host UConn on Wednesday night in their final home game of the season. Tip-off right here on 94.5 ESPN is set for 7:30.
This has been your Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Motor Bar and Restaurant on the Harley-Davidson Museum campus is the home of Marquette Thursdays all season long.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
o'clock hour of Wilde Tausch begins now, and it begins. I'd like to talk about the combine, but I do have a question for you that we didn't get to because we were so focused on my confrontation with the official. Why are you so dressed up today? If you're on the video
Why are
chat,
you so dressed up?
I have a charity event that I am part of.
Portly Officials United?
We're raising money for officials that have only reached U13 level of officiating in 45 years of their careers. No, it is for CASA of Brown County, our old friend Corey Lindsley's favorite charity.
Oh, yeah.
So Corey and I are doing a little Zoom action for CASA, which stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. He and his wife Anna had been very supportive of that and remain so.
I think Corey Lindsley would be a good talk show host. Why don't we see if we can get him to sub on Friday? I'm going to miss a little bit of the show. What do we think?
Isn't he still playing?
No, he's done.
Well, he hasn't officially announced his retirement.
Well, maybe he could announce his retirement on the show.
As a cousin sub.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because when you listen to Blue and other people, he got after Rodgers as far as like a debate sparring partner. And Rodgers has said that in the past. I think that could be super fun. So keep that in mind as you have your. I guess it's a Zoom meeting. You're not in person, so
no, he's still in California. But I'm sure we could hook him up with the app that we require and everything else, and he could cousin sub. Although they have like infant twins, and I believe they have 5 kids
that's
now.
Even better.
So he may not be available, but I'll ask him during our Zoom today over at Titletown. Why are you all dressed up?
I'm not even dressed up.
You're wearing a shirt with a collar on it.
Yeah.
For the two of us, that is dressed up.
No, I mean, I wear golf shirts all the time.
That's not
like when I'm going to play golf.
That's a dress shirt.
I cannot reveal why I'm dressed up. Yeah, of course, I have no interest in ever looking this up, but I cannot reveal.
I have no interest in ever looking this nice. Is that what you just said?
No, I just don't want to. Nobody wants to wear a button up if they don't have to.
Agreed.
So I would never do it. But
nobody on this show.
For a good old buddy of mine, I have something that we're doing. I cannot reveal or put out on the streets yet because it is secret. But you will find out probably. I don't even know when. That's where we're at.
Don't tell Jason.
Lots of great
trust
details.
Me, I won't. Well, what do you want me to do? I'm not you. I'm not gonna. I don't spill the beans.
Spill the tea.
That's true.
As we say on this show. But it's not fancy enough that you can still wear a hat.
That's a good question. This is a dress hat,
what
so I
could
probably
it be?
This is a dress hat.
It is a dress hat.
It's a very nice hat.
It meshes well with the thing.
The color scheme is great. Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure what the whole detail is. It was, but I don't. I'll put it this way. I normally would not say I want to do what I'm going to go do, but because I am going to go do it because I appreciate the people that are involved.
Can you tell us who the people are, even if it's not the event?
No, because it'll tip too many things, so I can't.
Is this like the two teammates that you wouldn't name that you hung out with?
Maybe it's 2 teammates that I didn't hang out with, yep.
But you did. You just wouldn't tell us who they were.
Correct.
All right, well, why don't you just tell us about Fortria so we can get to Brian Bulaga?
Oh. Yeah,
how's
I
that
could
sound?
Do that. Yeah, we're looking for a little extra spending cash. You want to go up and watch next year's bowling championship with Jesse and get a meal up there? You're
late
looking for
checkout.
that extra cash. Get the late checkout. Fortria's got you covered. Healthy adults, ages 18 to 60, BMI of 18 to 32. That study involves 2 stays of 15 nights. Grab yourself $14,000 for your time and participation. They also have a trial where they're looking for healthy adults, ages 18 to 55, with a BMI of 18.5 to 32. That study is 1 stay of 14 nights. You grab yourself $6,566 for your time and participation. I think we're going to find out this week if that trip to Brazil is in play, if the Packers found a way out of it, or if the NFL strong-armed them into staying. We'll find that out, and if you do want to get to that game, which would be awesome, again, Fortria Clinical Trials has you covered. FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
Brian Bulaga scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Even when you think you know what's going on.
The Chefs are 7, and they cannot win a Super Bowl.
You can never be too sure.
Until Taylor Swift, on her birthday, says no to Kelsey with an engagement ring.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Does he have to ask her before getting the ring? Or no? Can he just give her the ring?
Morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Get 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. I'm Gina Della from Pella. Pella's free in-home consultations make replacing or redesigning your windows and doors easy. We go beyond just measuring and handing you a quote by listening and educating you on all of your product options. And with DesignWorks, you can see what your home will look like before you buy. Order by March 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Set your free consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Menominee Falls sophomore hockey player Cooper Simon. Simon is a forward on the Brookfield East co-op team. The Brookfield Stars just completed its season. A Cinderella-esque run that included an overtime winner from Simon in the state semifinal game over number 1 seed Chippewa Falls. It was a game where the Stars at one point trailed 4-1. Simon helping the team come back before he even put the puck in the back of the net, assisting on 3 goals. The run did end with a championship game loss to top seed Notre Dame, but overall a huge step in the right direction for Simon and Milwaukee area hockey. Just the 4th time since 2010 that a Milwaukee area team made it to the championship game. Simon finished with 66 points in just 29 games this season for the Stars.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100x on your money. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players, sports, and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. No matter what sports you're into, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis, Prize Picks has a game for you. And Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the app today. Use the promo code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my favorite go-to drink. That's Carbless. Carbless is a ready-to-drink, handcrafted vodka and tequila cocktail. Even better, it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. And listen to this, less carbonation. This leads to less bloat. I can indulge in something delicious without having that health guilt. Carbless is crafted right here in Wisconsin. It has a flavor for everyone, from black raspberry to cranberry, pineapple and lemon, and my favorite, margarita. Find Carbless online and at a retailer near you. This is more.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
City we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah, I do. My buddy Jason, he's a sheriff.
Our buddy Brian, he's a tackle.
who retired from the NFL.
Give his credentials. Put his credentials out there.
I'm not going to, because here's the problem. Both you and he had outstanding careers, but the racket that is the Pro Bowl never got you guys.
No, but nobody cares about it. I'm just saying, put his credentials out there.
He played more than a decade in the National Football League. He is the
Iowa Farmer of the Year,
head coach of one of the greatest Pee Wee football teams in the state of Florida, and he is now opening his own donkey and orange farm.
That sounds good. Good combination.
It is Brian Bulaga.
I bet Bulaga's gotten after some officials. I would bet that's happened already.
All right, Brian, I know you don't listen to the entire show. You usually listen to the segment that precedes your appearance. And you're going to get enough of me today because you are also going to join Corey Lindsley and I in our CASA charity event later today, because that's the kind of guy you are. But have you ever been admonished by an official for reacting to a call during your time as a parent? I'm guessing that you may have reacted to a holding call or two during your playing days.
Yeah, to be honest, I can't say that I've had a ref kind of react to me in a sense that he was like threatening to throw me out of a game. There was a time, though, I think, what was it, last year, we were playing by the rules, right, in flag football, and he kept throwing flags on our kids. And, the rule is if you fake a handoff and you drop back to throw, the kids are allowed to go rush the quarterback and pull the flag. Well, he kept throwing flags saying that they're not allowed to do that. So he and I had words at halftime, and then he had to go over and check the rules with the commissioner, and it proves that I was right. And he had to apologize to me. And I know it hurt him. But he had to apologize to me coming back for throwing all those flags.
How sweet was that? How sweet was it when he had to come and apologize?
It felt great. I was. He was like, you were right on the rules, and I was like, I know I was right, but you didn't want to listen to me. And that was kind of that was the way that went. But besides that, I've never really, listen. You can't get after refs too bad in Pee Wee soccer and flag football. I mean, there are some interesting calls that get made.
Sure.
For sure. Like what are you looking at? I'm not too sure but at the end of the day, it's not, for the kids, it's high stakes. For everyone else, it's not really that high of stakes that you need to, berate an official too bad.
What about a 13U travel volleyball tournament?
There was no berating.
That needs to probably be berated, and that
I
is
was the one who was berated.
Oh, you were berated
by the official. Yes.
Oh no. Oh, what were you arguing if the ball was out or in, or what happened?
Bad lift call.
We questioned whether there had been a lift, and I believe he meant to yell at the dad next to me, and instead he stared me down and yelled at me. So then I came back and said, I didn't say anything. It was you'll have to tune in on the podcast. I don't want to waste any more of our valuable time with you rehashing my incident with the volleyball official yesterday.
I love it though.
I know, and I know you're an avid listener to the podcast, so you'll get caught up a little bit later. There was, I thought, and there's a bunch of things we want to get to with you today, including this talk about an 18-game schedule. But I was a little surprised. I don't know, how much of the Combine did you watch?
Exactly 0 minutes.
You and me both. Love it.
Yeah.
But you caught a clip on social media of, and I've never seen this before, and I don't want to give my credentials, but I went to about 20 combines in a row once upon a time. I don't remember there being the hardest throw portion of the combine for quarterbacks. What is this? Why are we doing this? And why did it stick in your craw a little bit based on your response?
Yeah, I mean, I was just scrolling through X and it popped up on the NFL account. And it's, if for anyone that didn't see it, it's all the quarterbacks at the Combine, probably 6-7 yards away from a blue mat with a guy holding a like baseball radar gun behind him, they do to see the speed of the pitch. And these kids are just chucking a football into a blue mat, and they're making a big deal about how hard it goes into the mat. And from like 8 yards, 7 yards away, and I question, like, do the running backs need a check down thrown at them 60 mile an hour? What is this actually proving? Didn't they just go on the field and throw the ball downfield and throw different routes and see different things? And wasn't that all already laid out in front of them? And it's just another kind of, point that I make, that the combine is coming up with pointless things for these guys to do that proves absolutely nothing. It shows everyone absolutely nothing. How hard a guy can throw the ball from 7 yards away. Don't understand what it proves. And that's like the combine summed up now. That's like what it is.
Josh DiMaggio tells me it's been measured since 2008. We used to be able to go in, and I think they still do for some of the workouts. I have never seen that done, and I was there for many of those years. Maybe they did it on different times, but we saw downfield throws mostly where they were throwing to receivers.
Yeah.
Brian, are you, I don't want to say concerned, but the combine is starting to face some challenges, right? We've got guys that aren't taking the cognitive tests. There are guys that don't want to do the medical. There are guys, it's always been, I don't know what you did in terms of your workout at the combine when you were a draft prospect, but there's always been guys that have, I'm not going to throw at the combine. I'm a top-rated quarterback. But now it's getting to the point where there's guys that are just not showing up for portions of it. What do you make of that, especially given the way this league is trending?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because while I agree with some of the guys, like there's no need to do that or it's pointless, at the same time it also kind of makes you think, are they hiding something? Like what are they trying to keep from people? Like when I did every test, every drill, every whatever they had in store for us. I did everything. So
measured your short arms.
Yep, my really short arms. I did all that, which it is what it is. But, like, did I hear right that Caleb Williams didn't do a physical, or he didn't do a medical? Did I read that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, like, he just, which that's like probably one of the easiest things for a guy to do, especially a quarterback. That if he doesn't have any injuries, it's pretty good to just get that out there, that clean bill of health. I don't know if he has anything going on, but it's getting to the point where these guys are starting to figure out that more harm can be done by doing the combine than not doing it. And that's kind of where this is starting to play out with these, especially the top guys, where they can go to their pro day and it goes off flawless. They can control the narrative at the pro day. The coaching staff that's for Caleb Williams at USC can do it. The agent can do it. They can really make it a really great situation for him. So what's the point of going through any scrutiny at the combine when all that can get done, at the pro day? And that's kind of the way these guys are approaching it. And it's making the combine a little bit irrelevant because you're not seeing the top guys do all these special things that you want them to do, like throw the ball and run the 40 and do the drills. Like they're just passing on it. And I understand it, but at the same time, you wonder what the NFL is gonna do about it because they're going to do something about it. It's just, what will that be?
What do you think it will be?
I mean, there's a chance they make guys do it, or they just don't show up.
Yeah, how they can't really make them do it. The combine again, and one of the things that I learned that was, as the player rep for a while was, they wouldn't let you do a CBA that didn't have the combine at the end of it. It's an important piece to their programming. It's an important piece to the CBA because it kind of keeps costs down. The draft is one of the critical pieces when, if we end up getting into this conversation about 18 games, which I think we both believe is going to happen, that's one of those little bargaining chips. But Blue, I agree with you. The coaches not coming should be the first indicator that is not as important as it used to be. But what would be the thing? You're evaluating offensive linemen. I always would say look at the game tape first. But what is the thing that Brian Bulaga would say, yeah, that's an important drill? Is it three-cone? Is it the shuffle? What would be the things that you're looking at to see what would indicate that you're going to have a good offensive lineman by doing some of these tests?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that I didn't watch any of the drills, but the one that I took a lot of stock in was the mirror dodge drill. You can see guys' foot speed and lateral movement and how they are able to track a guy going back and forth. And I get it. It's not a live rush, but you can see foot speed. You can see how they're bending. If their feet are getting too close together, they have a hard time moving laterally. And if your feet are too close together playing real football, you are going to get, put on your backside. So I like that drill. I like that drill where they, they point the ball in one direction and the guy kind of has to shuffle backwards and then flip his hips and open. So you kind of get to see the way a guy's hip movement is and how fluid he is in space and things like that. The pass set drill where the guy's got to take the vertical set to the guy rushing high and wide. That was one thing that was really talked about. Now, if you're not a vertical setter, which a lot of guys in the league now are not vertical setters because at times it's an inefficient way to pass block because, at least for me it was. There's not a lot of guys that do it. Joe Thomas did it really well, and that was the last guy I remember watching that vertical setted and was really, really good at it, and he could win all the time with it. But that's a drill that a lot of guys take stock in because, having a good pass set, you got to do out of a right-hand stance and a left-hand stance and how you're able to manage that with a rusher. Besides that, three-cone drill, what don't you learn from that from watching the position work, right? How a guy moves in a 5-yard frame or a 10-yard frame in the position drills. The 40-yard dash, irrelevant. Maybe the 10-yard split you like to look at. Maybe that shows you a little juice. But the rest of it is just, it's pointless. It doesn't show you football. You said it right off the get. The tape is what the number one judge should and always be, is the tape. And then the position drills and how they're able to hear instruction and how they're able to apply the instruction to the drill. And if they mess up the drill, are you not paying attention to what I'm saying? Or are you not coachable? Things like that is what I take stock in. To me, an offensive lineman running 40 yards, who cares? Really, who cares?
If
Does
you
it
have a
matter?
quarterback that throws a lot of picks, you need that.
Yeah, if you got that, for sure.
After.
You got to be the guy that chases
good
guys
angles.
down.
That's more geometry. You got to have good angles with the pick sixes.
Yeah.
But, Blue, the reason I ask is because there's a guy, Josh Norris, on Twitter. Again, there's a bunch of Twitter draft people. But this was the thing, and I find this interesting because Goody, and it seems like the Green Bay Packers, this relative athletic score. This has become a thing. And the Packers will only draft certain players, at least high enough. And one of the things is this short shuttle. And having it under 4.4, which is that the 3-cone? I'm not even 100% sure.
Is that the 3-cone, or is that the start in the middle, go back? Is that what that one is?
So it's the short shuttle, which I believe is the back. Because the 3-cone is the 3-cone. And there's only 6 guys that did it. And basically, after evaluating since your draft of 2010, there are only 28 linemen that have this short shuttle in 4.47 or less. And 85% of those guys went on. So there obviously is a reason that they do these things because they get that analytical data that they can look at, and that I believe inline, short, quick movements is what you need to get. And then obviously that bend. And you're not going to be able to do that if you can't bend. So that does seem to be one of the big things that more and more evaluators are looking for.
Yeah, if I remember, I can assure you I was not that fast on my short shuttle as an offensive line. I can assure you, I didn't run a fast time at the combine at all. I think I ran a 5.2 or something like that. It wasn't like I was blowing anyone away with speed. So if Ted Thompson really did look at that analytically and judge me based off my short shuttle, he probably would have never drafted me because I didn't move well enough in the 3-cone drill or the short shuttle. I guess, like you said, there is benefits to it to see it, right? And why I don't want to completely just rag the combine is because there's guys who can open some eyes, right? There's guys that not many people know about. Maybe they don't think he can do this or that. And, they come out to the combine and they blow people away with their athletic ability. And it puts them in a better light to these scouts and GMs, which I think is a great thing. But, if you're basing, what the Raiders did forever based off how much a guy benches and how fast he runs, you're going to end up like the Raiders, right? And that's where I think a lot of teams fell in love with the combine was because of what they call it, the underwear Olympics. Like you fall in love with that, and you end up taking players that are really gifted athletically, that look great with their shirt off. They look good running a 40. Then you put pads on them.
Swim shirt.
Yeah, and then you put pads on them, and it's a completely different ball game. And then you get Jamarcus Russell, and you get these certain guys. And like, listen, I'm an Iowa guy. We have a great tradition, but you end up getting Robert Gallery, who I think ran a 4.8 or something crazy, and I think he benched 225, 38 or sometimes, and he tested off the charts, and the Raiders took him at number 2 or 3 and didn't pan out, right? And whether that was for the Raiders or who that was for, it just didn't pan out. And you fall in love with guys based on their testing scores instead of falling in love with them based on what you see on tape and what shows you that their skills are going to transfer to the NFL level, right? Like, and I can go on this forever about guys that tested great, that just didn't. Like, the outlier to me that I always say like this because the dude's a freak of nature is Trent Williams. Like, tested off the charts, obviously, and he is who he is, right? Like, that guy's just a freak show. But you look at these, like, there was a guy in my draft class, Bruce Campbell, big guy from Maryland, was like 6'8", 320,
long
ripped
arms,
much longer.
Oh yeah, I think
Bryant's. Yes.
I think he probably had like 37-inch arms, like just tested off the charts. And then all the chatter was Bruce Campbell's going to go in the top 10, and obviously he didn't. But then I think he was in the league for 2 or 3 years, and that was that. But he was the best tester through the combine. And the Raiders did end up taking him, actually. He did go to the Raiders. But, like, that's the thing that, you can't fall in love with combine statistics because I don't think it translates over to what you're looking for, and that's playing a football game on Sundays. And that's just my 2 cents on it. And it's just a little bit archaic, in my opinion.
Well, Tanner Bordellini finished with a relative athletic score of 9.85 out of a possible 10. From 1987 through 2024, there have been 1,421 offensive guards who have had a relative athletic score. That ranks 23rd. 23rd out of 1,421. But to your point, and Tausch, you watched Tanner Bordellini play all season, out of position, right? What is that going to translate into him in the NFL?
We don't know.
It's great. That's a great score.
But Tausch, what do you think about him when he plays?
I think he's tough. Yes, of course.
That's the best question.
That is always, I think, in all of the good evaluators will always trust their eyes and then hopefully get verified with some of the numbers that they see. Mm-hmm. But you don't ever, if you love someone's tape, trust their tape. But they're all, because especially when you're playing against really good players, a lot of tape can look good when you're playing bad teams. It's when you're up against the creme de la creme, and that's why I think there is that stigma for these guys that play at FCS level that they have to prove, even with great testing scores, you have to prove. How are you going to go? Because, Blue, one of the things that I think everyone looks at is when you get beat or when stuff inevitably happens, because I don't care if you're Trent Williams. I saw Preston Smith eat Trent Williams' lunch in a playoff game in Washington. How do you react when you get your lunch handed to you? You going to cower or are you going to bow up? That's the stuff that the real great evaluators figure out, because you can be all-world everything, but if you don't have the mental makeup to be able to bounce back when crap hits the fan, you ain't going to last in this league. I don't give a rip who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's why I always say that I think the meetings and the position drills are the two things, I mean, at least for me personally, those are the two things that I wanted to excel at. Talking to coaches, talking to GMs, like making sure they understand who I am as a person in the short time that they get, right? It's like 10 minutes or 12 minutes, whatever these meeting times are. And then do well in the position drills, like validate how I move positionally to what you see on tape. And does that correlate? Did you see something you didn't like? You know, things of that nature. Because if you're going to judge guys based off a 40 time, your franchise is probably
going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and Blue, another thing that you see, Goody, and before I know we got to get to a break here. Well, I'm
break.
trying to help you, Jason. As we go to break, the
Great
left
job.
tackle and the athleticism that you have to have there, that translates. Doesn't matter if you're playing FCS or whatnot. That translates over because you have the feet to play there at the collegiate level. You're going to be able to move and do those things. That's it, Jason.
More with Brian Bulaga, who is the creme de la creme, despite his short arms. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
This is
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Gabe Neitzel here. I know you've already heard me talking about how Mentality has helped me over the years, but there are others like me. Jason has been using Mentality for a while now and is loving the results.
I have gotten a handful of friends, probably a couple dozen, especially those that are closer to my age, maybe even a little bit older, because I just tell them, you got to check this out. Do not wait any longer. Just go and admit it. Yep, you're at an age where things are slowing down. I promise you're not going to regret it, and that's truly what I get. I'll get a phone call after, like, man, I feel like a kid at Chuck E. Cheese right now.
Learn more today at MoTUSA.com.
Bull riding, the perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes, they're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Unleash the Beasts Milwaukee PBR, presented by Cooper Tires at 5 Serve Forum, March 9th and 10th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Getting up to 5% back is easy at Fleet Farm. Fleet Rewards members can earn up to 5% back on every purchase, in-store and online. The earnings stack up automatically. The more you buy, the more you earn. No rebates, no coupons, no hassles. And Fleet Rewards membership is easy, so sign up now and start earning up to 5% back on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply.
On March 8th, the Ability Center is hosting its second annual Unstoppable Cup presented by Baird at the Harry and Rose Sampson Family Jewish Community Center. It's a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball fundraiser for all abilities. Featuring Milwaukee area corporations and first responders representing 24 teams, the Unstoppable Cup supports the Ability Center's adaptive sports programs to help impact the goal of getting new sport wheelchairs in more gyms, more schools, and with more partners so everybody can play together. Support the Ability Center's Unstoppable Cup by visiting TACWI.org.
Right now, the prices of diamonds are probably the lowest we'll see in our lifetime.
Diamond prices are low, low, low. Here's why.
It was hard to meet new people during COVID.
When a person meets their soulmate, they usually get engaged about 39 months later.
People started dating again only about 36 months ago.
Most of the people who got engaged during COVID
or immediately after COVID
were already in a relationship before the COVID lockdown began.
The Wall Street Journal even published a story about all of this.
Low sales of engagement rings created a worldwide oversupply of diamonds.
But now, engagement ring sales are beginning to pick up again.
By the end of next spring, this temporary oversupply will be gone.
And diamond prices will start climbing like crazy.
If you ever wanted to own a big diamond, this is the year to do it.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
If you want to own a big diamond, the time is now.
A season of award-winning golf at Sweetgrass and Sage Run is on the horizon. The Island Resort and Casino stay-and-play golf packages are booking fast, with choice dates available early in the week. After your rounds, visit the Drift Spa for a relaxing or targeted massage session. And enjoy dinner at Horizon's scenic top-floor steakhouse. So many reasons to take a drive. Book your stay-and-play golf package today. Visit islandresortgolf.com.
This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Back in Rutherford County, our ground is
continuing with Brian Bulaga, whose relative athletic score was 7.33.
Is that good?
Out of 10. His explosion grade was okay. Vertical jump, 27.5 inches. Broad jump, 802, which is that miles? What is that? His agility grade was good.
You really think he broad jumped 8 miles? Come on.
No, I don't. Centimeters?
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Your size grade is good. 6'5" and 3/8, 314 pounds. Hand, 9.25. Arms, 33.25. That's short?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. If it's not 34, you got short
arms.
What?
I don't know, Tausch. What were you
I
at?
have no idea. I don't think any. That's why I was
T-Rex.
That's why I was happy to be a 7th-round pick, Blue. I wasn't complaining about being 22 or whatever you were overall. But yeah, it's a different world, and I think now you're seeing. I would never be allowed to play offensive tackle in today's NFL. There's just, if you're not 6'5" or 6'6", it's just not going to happen. I wonder who the shortest offensive tackle is. It's just you're not going to see 6'2", 6'3" guys playing offensive tackle anymore. It's just not going to happen. And Blue's point on long arms, yes, I can remember, and I don't know if you ever had this, Blue, where you were going, and back when you played two-gappers, there was a guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because he was a great player. I can't remember. His first name was Aaron. I don't remember his last name. He was a two-gapper. He was on Peter King's all-pro teams, and his arms were so long that he would two-gap you, and there were times I couldn't even reach his chest. He would be two-gapping, and I'd have it here. That's when you know that somebody is really good at it, and those things are all great, but it still comes down to how do you play and everything else.
Aaron Smith?
Smith. I don't know how was such a common
tough name to remember.
Actually, it is. It is tough to remember. All right, Blue. So I was asking Jason this earlier. Mike Evans signs a nice deal with Tampa to stay there, probably finish his career. The Packers, you don't have any interest in seeing them at. Do you have any spots on the offensive side of the ball that you would want them to add a veteran free agent? Or is it just safety and maybe a linebacker? Where do you see this as free agency is going to get here next week? What do you think Green Bay, will they? And do you think that there's a position that you would say, yeah, that's where you need to go spend and find a veteran to kind of solidify things?
Yeah, I mean, I think safety. Probably safety if there's a guy out there. Linebacker, potentially, if it's the right fit. Obviously, we don't. I mean, what does Goody have to make all his moves before the market opens? Like from our team, like releasing guys and things like that. Is that how that works?
For example, our guy Brian Bulaga, our guy David Bakhtiari's roster bonus is due on the 15th. So that would be the drop dead day, but he said that he wants it done before free agency. The negotiating window opens a week from today. The league year opens on Wednesday of next week.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I look at it offensively, adding a veteran, I'm not sure where, right? I mean, if you get rid of Aaron Jones, which is kind of the report that's been floating around, right? If he doesn't restructure his deal or they figure something out, maybe you have to look at the running back market because there are guys available.
Blue,
what that's going to cost you.
Blue, there's no way they're not going to work something out. It's in both parties' best interest. They want him back. They've said they want him back. And you know this. If they want you back, they're going to get you back. They'll figure out a way to pay you what the going rate is. And they're not going to – I think right now they're probably thinking we don't want to pay him $11 or $12 million a year because they're saying Saquon might not even get that. Saquon's younger. But Aaron Jones, in your opinion, he will be a Packer next year, correct?
I think he will be. Yeah, I think he for sure will be. I agree. It's in both parties' best interest that he is back. I really do. I think, for Aaron, obviously he's very familiar with the system, with the scheme. He's comfortable there. He's a fan favorite in Green Bay. And for Green Bay, you keep the guy healthy, man. Your offense is different with him active and him getting touches and him being available. So, you want a guy like Aaron Jones. And Jason, you and I have talked about this. I think he's got a lot of miles left on the tires.
Mm-hmm.
He's missed time. I get that, but I think he's got a lot of tread left, and I think he's a difference maker. So you got to keep him. And if you're going to go spend in free agency, and I know this is like a broken record for Green Bay fans and just in general, but it's got to be on the defensive side of the ball. And that's just kind of the way you have to look at it, because I think from a skill position standpoint, you feel really good about what Green Bay has. You got to feel really good about it. And offensive line will be a question based on what they do with Dave, but if you feel good about Walker at left tackle.
Baloo, do you think they're going to do something at center? Because they have a year to kind of figure out, and I think we all agree Josh Myers played better football as the season was going. But
after Brian Bulaga talked to the team,
Blue talked to him and told him, Josh, pick your game up, man.
I'm going to keep ripping you.
You got to get up on that second level. You're letting too much penetration go. But do you think that that's a case where you look, and if there's a guy, Linderbaum was a great example of somebody that has now stepped in. He's 2 years in with Baltimore. What do you do at that position? Because you're going to have to pay him, or you're going to have to replace him.
Yep. I mean, I think it's tough, but if there's a center there that you love and he's there in, say, the third or fourth round, I think you got to take him. And you got to use it as backup. You can bring in a veteran center, I guess, as a pure backup. And obviously, if something happens, you got a guy you can rely on as a veteran. But I think you got to let Myers earn it and let him do it. And if you find a center in the draft that you can get in the late rounds that you love, I think you take him and let him compete. And maybe you find that guy that's more of a center guard that can do both. That's good depth and also can compete and push for that starting center spot. But I think Myers is going to have a good year. I think he's going to have a good year, and I think he's going to be a guy that they keep and extend. That's kind of the way I see it.
Wow.
Green Bay's
that you've come a long way.
Or they'll rotate him with some other guy late in the year to tell us all that they're moving on from him.
Let those two go.
You just kind of look at the way Green Bay does their offensive line. They normally have guys that are on there. 3 guys get paid out of the offensive line, and they rotate it that way. That's how they've always done it, at least from my experience with it. So, right now, if they get rid of Dave, it's really just Elton. Elton's the only guy getting paid. So if they bring in, if Runyon earns that deal, they'll have 2 guys. And then the rest of the guys are on, rookie contracts.
They're not going to pay Runyon, do they, Blue?
No, I meant Myers. Sorry. I meant Myers.
Yeah, okay.
I meant Myers. Sorry, Myers. No,
and then they got to pay Zach Tom eventually.
Well, Zach Tom's going to get paid. He's going to get paid.
Yeah, eventually, but they're going to wait.
Yep, they'll wait
as long as they can with that. They're going to wait as long as they can with that. So
yeah, Blue, do they keep? And I think I've asked you this before, but do they keep him out at right tackle and just let him settle in there, or do you think this? If they're going to do it, would this be because they could draft somebody? They're saying this is one of the strongest O-line classes in the history of the combine. I heard people say this. Whether or not that's accurate, okay.
Who cares about the combine now?
But do you think if you're Brian Bulaga / Brian, what did I call him? Gutenkunst? What did I call it when Blue was Gutenkunst? Brian Bulaga-kunst? Bulaga-kunst.
Yeah.
Do you keep Zach Tom at right tackle, or do you let him go play left tackle?
I keep him at right tackle.
I do too.
I keep him there. He looks really good there. And we've said this, we understand the importance of the blind side of the quarterback. But the NFL has evolved, and each team has 2 pass rushers, and a lot of the good ones are rushing over the right tackle these days.
Yep.
So you have Zach Tom out there. He's probably blocking most of the time some of the best pass rushers on the field. You just let him go, right? And listen, he's going to earn his money, right? If he's good and he's a tackle, he's going to get paid, whether he's left or right. So you just leave him where he's comfortable and let him go.
Absolutely. All right, Blue, last one from me. The idea of this veteran wideout, whether it was Devontae, and I think I guess the question is, you don't mess with it, but you still are young there. And last year we all thought it would have benefited the team to have someone in there to kind of teach these young guys the ropes. Do you look at that any differently now that these guys have had the growth that they've had, and any interest in bringing in a veteran to kind of solidify things, or do you just want this young crew to keep growing together and not adding anyone that's year 7, 8, or 9, something like that?
Yeah, I think you let them go. I think you let the young guys continue to grow and develop and kind of take a strong hold of that room. Because, and I'm not saying it happens, but say you bring in a veteran and it's not the proper influence the way these guys are developing, and he somehow, gets them to change their approach and style and how they go about things. You just kind of want these guys to continue to go on the path that they're on, because I think there's a lot of talent in that room, and I think if Watson stays healthy, that's almost like getting a veteran receiver in the room if he's available for majority of the season, because he'd be going into his third year, and I just don't know the benefit of bringing in a 7 or 8 year guy right now in that room. I don't know what it gives you, you know what I mean, compared to what they have. Because they do, I get it, there's a lot of first, second, third year players, but they played beyond their years, this last season. And I think if you give them another year, it's going to get even better. So I think just hold at that position. I think they're good. I really do. Unless there's someone out there that comes into the marketplace that you're just like, hey, the number, this is too good to pass up number wise, right? It fits the cap and what we need, and he's a good fit for the room. Not a, you can't be bringing in a superstar with our cap situation, obviously, but you bring in a guy who's solid, he's been productive, but he's a good leader, and he can maybe help those guys out. But if that's not the person, let these guys just continue to grow and develop.
Do I need to then ask the 18 games question that you planned on asking, Brian, since you said you were done asking?
You
and
totally poo-pooed it. You didn't really believe the reporting, and then you're like, well, it's not till 2030 and all this other stuff. So I think Blue and I are going to be on the same page. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's dumb, but I think there's money to be made, and it's going to happen. So try to get some other things, maybe take better care of the former players, some of the other stuff that you could try to do. But it's going to happen. It's inevitable that you're going to get to 18.
Oh, yeah.
We all saw it. We knew it. But you, Jason, were the one that was like, oh, didn't really happen until 2030.
I didn't poo-poo it at all.
Did he poo-poo?
I fact-checked it, and then we saved it for Brian, and now you're getting after me when we didn't get to it.
There's somewhere between poo-poo and I'm skeptically going to check on this. It was a skeptical check.
And then I did my research, and this all started with the Browns GM talking to your buddy Mike Florio and suggesting that one of the reasons why they want to push back the trade deadline is in anticipation of them going to 18 games, which then other GMs told Florio, yeah, it's going to happen. So I fact-checked it and then saved it for Brian.
You poo-pooed.
No.
Blue,
you got it from ML Football, which I don't know what ML Football is.
He poo-pooed. And
underscore ML Football.
Yeah. And
anybody who puts an underscore at the start of their Twitter handle is sketchy.
Hey.
Brian, we will talk to you next week. I'll talk to you in a couple hours. I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks.
All right, guys. Take care.
That is the terrific Brian Bulaga, Iowa. The short arms thing. Somebody poo-pooed him for the length of his arms, and he ended up having a great career. Didn't Joe Thomas have some similar questions?
Yeah.
He turned out okay as well. So we appreciate Brian Bulaga. I do want to talk about this with or without him. Not right now, though, because right now Tausch is going to talk about Coors Light and tell us about his love for that beverage.
Oh, Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged because it's made to chill in those mountains. Make sure they're blue. It's freaking 75, 80 degrees out. It's March 1.
It's not 80 degrees out.
It was 77 degrees yesterday. 77 degrees yesterday. And that's when you really need to crank up those cold-activated bottles and cans and make sure it's chilled to perfection. That's why it's Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. I love how you act like it's just insane that I say that. I'm in my car. It is 77 degrees in my Chevy Tahoe yesterday. Okay? And it was windy.
We still have one more segment left in the 10 o'clock hour, and Tausch will spend it talking with that voice about his Chevy Tahoe. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
On the air,
Wilde Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. He's the most interesting man in sports radio.
Well, should I have a chip on my shoulder that I'm not making as much money as Skip Bayless?
In his mind, anyway. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
I guess you could say it's getting better and better.
Well, no, you don't have to. You played on it. Maybe it didn't.
I don't think it ever did.
Okay.
I really don't.
The Homer Hour with Homer. Weekdays from 5 to 6. Right here on 94.5 ESPN and streaming live on YouTube.
Get 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. I'm Gina Della from Pella. Pella's free in-home consultations make replacing or redesigning your windows and doors easy. We go beyond just measuring and handing you a quote by listening and educating you on all of your product options. And with DesignWorks, you can see what your home will look like before you buy. Order by March 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Set your free consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
With your Saganiac Planning Marquette Recap, I'm Ashton Rotman. A depleted roster on Saturday at Creighton means some big performances would be needed for the Golden Eagles, and David Joplin did his best to deliver.
Cam Jones still dribbling, back out to Joplin on the perimeter. 12 to shoot. Joplin!
Oh, my
baby!
goodness!
Oh, baby!
David Joplin, wow.
21 points for Jop, but Creighton pulled away late, winning 89-75 and handing Marquette their first loss in nearly 2 weeks. A showdown with UConn is up next for the Golden Eagles on Wednesday night.
Don't miss the shot when it comes to offering medical coverage to your employees. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to balance costs and prioritize care for your employees with coverage provided by United Healthcare. For more information, call Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. Steve Fluellen, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100x on your money. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players, sports, and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. No matter what sports you're into, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis, Prize Picks has a game for you. And Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the app today and use the promo code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Since I was falsely accused of berating officials and now falsely accused of poo-pooing.
No, that was 100% poo-poo.
No, I was questioning the sourcing.
What do you think poo-pooing is?
Poo-pooing is I think it's a terrible idea, and I condescend to you.
Poo-poo is a dismissal.
And then you also said, well, it really wouldn't matter because it's not till 2030 when the CBA
that's not what I said. It said that it wasn't until the next CBA, and that was going to lead to my question for you and Brian, which we didn't get to, which is, do you think there's any way that the NFL can stiff-arm this through without it going to the CBA first?
You poo-pooed.
Can they restart? No, I did not. I have poo-pooed you many times in 8 years.
This was a poo-poo.
I will admit to that.
Okay.
This is ML football.
But it was from a floor. It's an aggregator. It's the Dove Kleiman of football talk.
And the aggregators get things wrong. Like, Jordan Love says he's going to demand a trade if Aaron Rodgers comes back.
But that is kind of what happened in your article. He kind of did say that.
He didn't. I have to talk to my representation.
You know what he meant, and you, by the way,
I know what he meant.
And you, by the way, were telling him that's what he should do.
I agree. I did say that.
So he actually aggregated it correctly. You just didn't like that he did it.
No, it's that he never said it. He never said it.
You do all kinds of implications and implying
right, that's
things.
different than him saying it. True or false?
I don't think he said Jordan said it. I think he said this was the implication.
Jordan Love says he's going to. All right. Anyway, is there any way that the NFL, wanting their 18 games, and Mike Florio makes another good point, that with all their gambling partnerships.
Who gives a rip? It's in 2030 anyways. Who cares? It's 10 years away. CBA is going to be done.
Why'd you turn into old sea captain?
Wait, can you go back to the other voice, too? Because that was a good voice.
What do you care? It's 2030.
All right.
Who gives a rip? It's dumb. Well, who aggregated that anyways?
A guy with the underscore as the first character in his Twitter handle. Is there any way the NFL can push this through? Because as Florio pointed out, it's more to bet on, too.
Sure.
Another whole week of games of betting, which they obviously are interested in now.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. More is always better when it comes to the NFL, from their perspective. And again, I've said this before. All I care is, you know what? If that's what the players decide, they want to take that. I understand it. I get it. But I just don't want any of y'all that are going to sit there and say, don't ever bring up player safety in any of this stuff. It's because it's moot. And for everybody that wants to be on the anti-gambling crowd, don't take any money from any gambling companies then either. And that includes writers, radio people, anything else. So stop with all the rightier than now, more righteous than now. I'm done with your holier than thou operations. Both. I've heard it both ways. It is what it is. We are all greedy hogs at the trough, and we are fighting for every bit of potato peel and apple peels and every other peel that you dump into a trough, and we will snout up and load our bellies with the money that comes in from the NFL, and as long as that's how we all operate, so be it. But then don't get up on your soapbox and write these great stories about, this. Nope. Can't have it both ways. That's all I'm saying.
We'll kick off the 11 o'clock hour late in 2 minutes. Want to remind you, the new Fleet Rewards program has arrived at Fleet Farm. You earn points on your everyday purchases, and you start earning your rewards as Fleet Bucks. I've got $10 in Fleet Bucks I need to use. I can't wait to use them on some bubbler drinks. I've also got a $25 gift card, so they are going to be thrilled to see me and all my Fleet Rewards. Sign up today or check out your account balance today at fleetfarm.com/rewards. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes. It's Wilde Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Hey, it's Jason Wilding for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games and the Lambeau snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
Bull riding, the perfect fusion of strength, skill, and pure willpower. Professional bull riders aren't just athletes, they're daredevils with cowboy souls. Come experience the true modern West, where 8 seconds of glory will create a lifetime of memories. It's the Unleash the Beasts Milwaukee PBR, presented by Cooper Tires at 5 Serve Forum, March 9th and 10th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com and PBR.com. Hold tight. The ride of your life is about to begin.
Multiple sclerosis is an unpredictable, often disabling disease of the central nervous system. Symptoms vary from person to person, as MS does not discriminate, and anyone can be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. With one of the largest MS incident rates in the country, Wisconsin is a league leader in the number of people living with MS. The National MS Society funds cutting-edge research, drives change through advocacy, and provides programs and services to help people affected by MS to live their best lives. Connect with nationalmssociety.org to learn more, get involved, and to show much love to people living with MS.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Of Wilde Tausch begins now. And it begins with Jesse reading one of my stories? What? You didn't actually read this, did you?
A lot of downtime up there at that late checked out hotel.
No, actually,
I can't wait to get to that.
If this is the defense story, I read this like 6-7 days ago, and I've been trying to get to it. And
that makes more sense.
Now I don't even remember what I read that was compelling, but I did read it.
I'll tell you this, Ron Wolf, our conversation paid off bigly, as Tausch likes to say.
Did you get a lot of views on your article?
I didn't check those. I don't have access to that. But 2 really good stories because of him, not because of me. Both about this idea that the Packers have been lucky, as Elliot Wolf, his son, pointed out, and Ron's quote, I think Elliot is right. And then the idea of stockpiling quarterbacks. Maybe we'll get to those a little bit later in the week.
Jesse, can you poll this? And as a fan, do you want 16 or 18 games? Like, what do you feel better about? You don't care?
Are you asking me, or are you saying poll it?
I want you to poll it, but I mean, is anybody going to say 16?
I don't think so.
Did you watch there's a lot of, we're done, we're sitting out. Now, granted, the Packers have not been that team because their Week 18, Game 17 matchups have been for playoff spots the last 2 years, so there's been a ton of intrigue. But when you look back at last couple of years, there's 3, maybe 4 games, and then there's a lot of blech. But I think there is an insatiable appetite for more football. And I think most fans have kind of come along to my trough. Come join us at the trough and let's slobber up on some NFL football.
So do pigs only get apple and potato peels?
No.
They don't get the full apple? They don't get the full potato?
I can just recall back in our day. That's what we did.
Back when I had a farm.
No, I think obviously there's regular swine feed. And there's other feed.
Swine
But if
feed.
you're like old school farming, you peeled apples. If you were making a crisp, or if you're making a tort, or you're making a pie.
Did Diane make a mean apple crisp
She was a
or
great
apple
crisper.
pie
Great
along
crisp.
with her outstanding butchering?
Her go-to, and one of my favorites to this day, is like a strawberry rhubarb pie. Ooh. It's so good, and it's in a different kind of pan. It's not the lattice crusted. pie, it's like the crumble crust off the edge, and then the hot rhubarb bubbles off the edges, and you get that candied strawberry rhubarb vibe.
Yeah. Caramelizes on the
it's so
sides.
good. Yeah, that's what
like
I
a
would
Detroit-style pizza.
I would say of all the things she's made, and her stuffing and domples over the holiday spirits. Yeah, dumplings, we call them domples. Those are like go-to things that I think all of us would say. For me, the strawberry rhubarb pie probably is at the top of the list.
All right, I got to be honest. As much as I would love to discuss 18-game schedules, I would much rather talk about the desserts your mom makes.
Domples.
And your domples. You got domples in your cheeks when you smile, too. So explain to me why any fan wouldn't say 18 games, especially when it would reduce preseason by yet another game, and you, especially if you're a ticket holder, you would get one more game that counts as opposed and one less game that doesn't.
Yeah, I think I don't
quality of play.
I don't think there will be a ton of fans that view it that way, and it's interesting because I believe the reason the NFL game is so popular, it's obviously a fun game. There's less of them. And Mark Cuban had to admit a while ago, going back to my hog analogy, that pigs get slaughtered, hogs get something. How is that old saying, Jason?
Pigs get slaughtered, yeah.
No, hogs get slaughtered, pigs get fattened up, or whatever it might be. Okay. He was wrong. And matter of fact, I tweeted every time he would say something, I would tweet at him. He never responded to me, but eventually he responded and said...
Never responded to me.
Yeah, I was wrong. The NFL is just a juggernaut. And fans want more games. And there will be a line of demarcation where it's like, it's just too much.
Well, let me give you it.
We have not hit that yet.
Let me give you it. Tell me if this is it, and maybe you want to rewrite the poll. Mike Florio, in his post that I allegedly but didn't really poo-poo, suggested that 18 games is just a stopover on the way to 20 games and no preseason games.
No, we won't get to 20. I think 18 is where we stop.
Forever.
Forever's a long time. Forever's a long time.
In our lifetimes.
I believe this will be another 6 years. Then they'll get to 18, and I think they will settle in at 18. That's what I think.
Okay. So you think that is the line of demarcation, though?
Yeah, and
beyond that is too much.
I don't know. I think we have our mindset. You're never going to see an NFL season start before Labor Day, TV contract, but with streaming and everything else heading in that direction, there's still going to always be, it's holding the cable bundle together, everything else. You'll never see anyone start before Labor Day. I don't know if you could go all the way till March Madness. I think the NFL might be good. Then you just tighten up that combine.
February 28th.
I think end of February. You don't want to compete with the high school bowling championship.
So then another 2 games. So this would be 18, and then I think they'll go
span the playoffs.
2 buys. I think they will do that. And then I think they'll have Super Bowl weekend on President's Day weekend. You get your Monday off. It's a win-win-win-win-win.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe is going to happen. And I think the players are pretty much at the mercy of what the NFL ownership group wants.
Well, wait a minute. If they had a second bye, then it would be the week after President's Day.
But then they're going to go no buys, and it'll be 8 games. They're going to get to 8 teams in each division or in each conference, and no bye. So the most important buy of all time will be.
And you pick your opponent if you're the number 1 seed.
If they're smart.
I have a complaint about your quick trip reads.
Okay, let's hear it.
First of all, I got an alert in my app now that they're going to give away free milk for a year.
I mentioned that last time.
You talked a lot about chicken, but you know what you don't give enough attention to, and
sauces.
I only
sauces.
No, but I'm sure those are good too.
Really?
They are good.
Sauces.
Yes. But Sydney and I both grabbed these on our way home from the volleyball tournament after I berated the official.
I love for reals.
We've talked about the for reals. We all agree on the for reals. Yep. They're fries. They're seasoned waffle fries.
Ah, yeah.
They don't get enough run in these commercials. We both got a little pack, satisfied us all the way home.
Yeah, we stopped yesterday. We had a little hoops game, and I grabbed my Karuba coffee, Max went with, this is an odd one for him because you got those glazers. Yeah, you see the package right there.
Glazers.
A little 6-piece glazer. He went and got the individual glazers. Like, they're bigger. They're in the little showcase deal. He went and grabbed 2 of those. I said, you sure you don't want the Dunkers? Get the blueberry, get the cherry, get the raspberry Dunker.
Lemon now.
Didn't do that. Is there lemon Dunkers too? There's Dunkers everywhere. I love Quick Trip. You guys know I love Quick Trip. Amazing customer service. Everything you could ever want. And I know Jason doesn't want me to, but I am going to continue till April 8th. Pound on the chicken. Fried chicken, chicken tenders, rotisserie chicken, which is today $5.99. Go get that. It gets you 2, 3, 4 meals. Boom, boom, boom. Your nearest Quick Trip picks some up. You won't be disappointed. And Quick Trip has a chicken deal all the time. But until April 8th, they have 8-piece tendies, bone-in or chicken tenders, $9.99. Perfect for quick and easy family dinners. But wait, this is the part that I had to look 3-4 times to make sure this was right. And it is, you can win. Quick Trip fried chicken. Not for 2 weeks, not for a month, not for that. For life! For life! You get automatically entered for a chance to win. Even your dog is interested in that. You can get interested to win right now. Use your quick rewards. Tenders, bone-in, all of it. You can win 8 pieces of bone-in or tenders a week for life. You must be 18 years or older. See full details at quicktrip.com/fried chicken for life. Again, quicktrip.com/fried chicken for life.
Pound the chicken.
I just want to get a clarification. You're going to keep pounding the chicken until...
Yeah, have you not seen...
Until April 8th? Is that when Lent starts?
Pound that chicken, baby. Don't be embarrassed. Pound away at that chicken now.
More next. More pounding the chicken. It's Wilde Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. In season, off season, draft season. Whatever season it is, we are Milwaukee's place to talk green and gold. Listen, watch, or stream live whenever, wherever. 94.5 ESPN.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they called a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial. And I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable. But a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kiandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at adventknows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Get 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. I'm Gina Della from Pella. Pella's free in-home consultations make replacing or redesigning your windows and doors easy. We go beyond just measuring and handing you a quote by listening and educating you on all of your product options. And with DesignWorks, you can see what your home will look like before you buy. Order by March 31st to get 0% interest for up to 3 years. Set your free consultation at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. The moment you've been waiting for is here. Eagle Sports Range is officially open for action. It's Wisconsin's largest indoor range, offering unlimited range time in 40 lanes, which include 20 20-yard lanes and 20 50-yard lanes. And no reservations needed. Just show up and let the fun begin. With a staggering selection of 100 firearm rentals to use, every visit is a new adventure. Eagle Sports Range is also a go-to for education. Take advantage of their concealed carry classes and gun safety courses. Safety first, excitement second. Visit them out in Cudahy or online at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where education meets exhilaration.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for the Bath Authority, and if your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew or broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Call 414-249-6934 to schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com, a better bath awaits.
It's time for the Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Join Shaka Smart, Jen Latta, and special guest Tyler Kolick on Thursday, March 7th from 6 to 7 p.m. for Marquette Thursdays at Motor Bar and Restaurant on the Harley-Davidson Museum campus.
No Tyler Kolick, no O.C. Godaro. Sickness is on the sideline, and still Marquette hung around on Saturday against Creighton.
Joplin on the perimeter, 12 to shoot. Joplin!
Oh, my goodness!
Oh, baby!
David Joplin, wow.
Job and Cam Jones combining for 44 points in the game, but Creighton proved to be too much in the end, shooting 41% from three to open things up and beat Marquette 89-75. Next up, it's a chance at redemption for the Golden Eagles, who host UConn on Wednesday night in their final home game of the season. Tip-off right here on 94.5 ESPN is set for 7:30.
This has been your Marquette Minute on 94.5 ESPN. Motor Bar and Restaurant on the Harley-Davidson Museum campus is the home of Marquette Thursdays all season long. This is Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Legendary chicken pounder Mark Tauscher and I continue on Wilde and Tausch. Jesse, what have we been getting on the text line? We've talked about a lot of different things today, from disagreeing with officials to expanding the regular season of the NFL to what hogs eat on the farm to all of our time with Brian Bulaga. What's come across the text portion of the Talking Text line, 844-770-3776?
Calvin here with the NFL conversation from JR in the car. Do you guys think the NFL goes exclusively to having their network broadcast all games, where you have NFL Network to watch any game? The revenue generated from the sponsors of the channel and the subscribers all goes to the NFL then, as opposed to distributing?
No, I think there's just too much
money.
CBS, Fox. I mean, you're getting all of the networks to dump in billions of dollars. Whereas if the NFL did it, they would have to go out and sell all of it. And I think being able to take it from numerous people in a big way is probably going to always be their best model until it's not. And then if and when that happens, I would think what you'll see is Amazon, Apple, Netflix, all of these big boy streamers looking at it and saying, we want in on that. We just saw what Peacock was able to do. Let's do this. But I think the NFL is going to push that off until they absolutely have to, because this is the golden goose.
So let me flip that question, because you kind of answered it somewhat before I could even ask it. What kind of balancing act are we looking at here? Because there are people like yourself who have been very, very, very frustrated with the Peacock angle here.
No,
I didn't hear you.
And for the record, I was not mad at Amazon. They went and got the Thursday night package.
Right.
I knew all year if I wanted to watch Thursday night,
so what I was about to say,
I needed to have Amazon.
Correct.
Fine with that. And in the same respect, I think Peacock with the Big Ten they told us last year, hey, if you want to watch Badger hoops, you better get Peacock. Okay, at least you're shooting straight with me. Then the NFL mid-season throws this little crumpet. If you want to watch a playoff game, you got to get Peacock. That was what irritated me. So now moving forward, okay, great, if this is what you want to do. And I would prefer it being, hey, these guys are our streamers, Amazon, Netflix, whoever, Disney, whatever it would be.
Sure.
Okay, great. I need to have this for a playoff game. Not, I can watch every game on NBC, but then we're going to jam you up in January. If you want to watch a game, you have to go and do this. That's the part that irked me.
They had the one Bills game on Peacock at the end of the year, holiday special.
No, that was a Jets game, wasn't it?
It was Bills Chargers,
but it was again
Saturday
on
night.
Amazon. It was on
There was
Amazon.
one.
No, there was
Peacock
one on
regular
Peacock
season
regular season.
Yeah,
But to your point,
they're getting to the point where they know they can get away with it, and all I'm saying is there does come a breaking point for everybody. We ain't there. I don't know if the NFL might be one thing that doesn't have a breaking point, but I've never seen that happen. At some point, everything's breakable, and maybe this is going to be it.
So, and I think it's worth mentioning that again, what was it? It was Miami, Kansas City that was on Peacock.
Correct.
In Miami and in Kansas City, you got it over the air because those are the home markets of those teams. But again, if you're a Packers fan, and I don't think the Packers will ever be the type of team that gets relegated to Peacock, but hey, the Kansas City Chiefs were the defending Super Bowl
champions.
champions.
Team to get peacocked because it forces you. They take a diehard fan base. Miami, most people be like, "Ah, to hell with it. I'll just go to the club. It's beautiful. I'm not going to Peacock." But we're avid fans. The Kansas City Chiefs are the defending world champs, and they jam that game on them.
But if you lived in Kansas City, you got the game. If you live in Green Bay or you live in Milwaukee, you'll get the game over the air. You don't have to sign up for Peacock. The point is if you live in Madison or other TV markets in Wisconsin, or you live out of state, then that's where the Peacock angle comes in. And that's the issue, is that for you, for example, if the Packers got peacocked, you would not have access to the Packers game because you live in a non-home market.
Sure.
So does that make them more likely or less likely to get peacocked?
The Packers would be very peacock eligible because they are a monster draw, and the reason they peacock you is because they want you to get the peacock.
And pound the chicken.
More people are going to be interested in that, and they're going to say, we're going to force your hand. This is what you're doing. And the fact that Madison, which is the second biggest market in this state, doesn't have access and they got to go peacock is another great reason why they should do it. And I won't be shocked when they do.
Jesse, you got one more text before we get to Whoa Nelly?
I do, from Rob in Michigan. Serious question.
Oh, serious.
It's not about chickens. Is the amount of cameras on the field during games giving more film to watch, making the combine not as relevant as it once was? I subscribe to the theory that more cameras have made the NFL product. It's like shown that the officials get things more wrong, and it's more difficult to officiate the game because of the cameras. Do you think it's also taken away from the combine?
No. Nope. I don't.
Jesse, you're thinking like an official, which brings us full circle before we get to your bowling conversation. You think that it's been detrimental to officiating?
Yeah, the amount of like HD zoomed in cameras, pylon cam, first down cam, like the NFL product years ago when it was just a couple of cameras in the stadium was easier to watch and less second guessed and less scrutinized.
Now, I just want him to get it right.
Yeah. But I don't think we've had this conversation about the officials over the years.
Here I go again talking about officials.
I don't think everybody does just want them to get it right, because they could stop every play and blow the whistle and review and see if the ball's in the right spot and if there was holding on every we don't actually want them to get everything right because there's too much to call and it would take too long and it would be a boring product.
That's why they have the unofficial sky judge now, to expedite the process. And I think they have done a great job with that. They've reduced the number of challenges that are required because they do that. And to the officials' credit, they've swallowed their pride. And if it's questionable on a score or questionable on a turnover, they know it's going to get reviewed if they call it as a touchdown or they call it as a fumble, and they've done that. They haven't tried to be right. They've said, well, let's play it safe. And so I think more cameras has been better. There was a time early in my career, I've been covering the Packers now, I'll be entering my 29th season. There was a time where if you had a crappy game, you had fewer cameras. And they did a worse job of replaying things because some games had more cameras than others. So I think that's actually been an upgrade to answer that question from the talk and text line. All right,
that's not really what the question was, though. The question he is saying is there's so much more stuff to see angled-wise for game film, which is the still the creme de la creme of evaluation.
Second creme de la creme.
Maybe you don't need to even watch all these numbers. And my point is, no, it still is, because these relative athletic scores and that data that you can glean from that is comparable to other players, and you can then form your opinion on whether or not you think that the film is going to hold up with what their RAS is going to be.
Nothing is the creme de la creme. Like when it comes to banks and Associated Banks. That was an awkward transition, but you like creme de la creme today, so I wanted to make sure I got it in again. They are the best when it comes to customer service. They've got a ton of awards to prove it. And, of course, if you're a Packers fan, there's no better bank to be at than Associated Bank. Packers Debit MasterCard. 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop or in-store. And all that great customer service. And, hey, maybe we've got another event up our sleeves coming up a little bit later in the year related to the Packers. So check out AssociatedBank.com/Packers to find out more. That's AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Whoa, Nelly, where we find out how did Bullstream TV cover the high school championships and how late of a checkout did Jesse get? Did he get his 4 p.m. checkout he was seeking from his hotel? Well, I'll find out together next. It's Wilde Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Cousins Subs features only the finest Wisconsin-made cheeses and dairy on their menu. And now the time has come for even more cheese, as Cousins is happy to introduce their new Cheddar Supreme cheese sauce. Order this cheesy treat on their new cheese fries, chili cheese fries, or add cheese sauce to your favorite sub. More cheese? Yes, please. Order today at any location, online, or via Cousins mobile app. Cousins Subs. We believe in better.
On March 8th, the Ability Center is hosting its second annual Unstoppable Cup, presented by Baird, at the Harry and Rose Sampson Family Jewish Community Center. It's a 3-on-3 wheelchair basketball fundraiser for all abilities. Featuring Milwaukee area corporations and first responders representing 24 teams, the Unstoppable Cup supports the Ability Center's adaptive sports programs to help impact the goal of getting new sport wheelchairs in more gyms, more schools, and with more partners so everybody can play together. Support the Ability Center's Unstoppable Cup by visiting TACWI.org.
It's a promise we made in 1964 and continues now, 60 years later, making car buying easy for families across southeast Wisconsin. Celebrate Ewald Automotive's 60th anniversary with special savings on over 1,300 vehicles. Shop the easy way with the lowest prices guaranteed. Plus, you're backed by Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Hurry into Ewald's 60th anniversary sale. Go to EwaldAuto.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
Before weekend off, the Bucks had to take care of some business on the road in Chicago against the Bulls. Take care of business, they did. 46 points for Giannis and 16 rebounds, but it was Patrick Beverley putting on a show late to close out the Bulls.
Giannis, a little hesitation on the other side. Hands the ball to Beverley. Beverley fakes the pass now, flips it up and good. Pat Bev has scored 8 straight points for the Bucks.
113-97 the final score. The Bucks moved to 40-21 on the season and have now won 5 straight games after the All-Star break. Next up tonight, the Bucks host the Clippers before heading out west for a 4-game road trip.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
From the biggest plays on the court to the comments made in the locker room after, an in-depth recap of every Bucks game in 6 minutes. No more, no less. Bucks in 6 provides game recaps for every game. Hear the high-flying dunks from Giannis.
Puts it on the floor, spins down the lane, and plunges it through.
Or the deep threes from Dame.
Dame time has arrived with 107.
Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus Audio Network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus or on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcasts.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and there is one thing I think everyone can agree on. Potholes stink. And this year's weather will make it one of the worst years yet. Well, Johnson & Sons Paving is ready to take on the challenge with a team that has over 2 decades of experience. When the potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole area. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. Get that appointment booked before May 31st, and you might even see Old T on the job site for a visit. Find full contest details at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
I don't want to undersell the show to this point. I think it's been a really fun show. Even before the pounding of the chicken. But I've been waiting all show for this.
I'm with you.
I hope it doesn't strike out and we have a split decision on whether it was worth our time. Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for Wonelli on Wilde and Tausch.
Yeah, I've had a few things we've been saving in the back pocket.
I get it.
You get it?
Yep.
Let's try not to make too many crossover jokes to St. Brooklyn.
Today should be the day where you're grinding away, trying to bowl your 300. Today was supposed to be that day.
It could have been. It could have been.
It wouldn't have worked for either of our schedules. We both have dress shirts on, button-ups.
It's not really about us. It's
But
about
the whole
jelly.
well, don't you want to be there
I
when
do.
when it doesn't happen?
I do for a certain period of time. I don't want to be confined.
I told you we were working on the charitable component of it. We're gonna make. Also, if we do it the way that I think we need to do it, and I need like multiple days, I got
multiple days.
If I'm not gonna do 24 hours of bowling and like have my arm fall off.
24 hours of Le Mans.
His elbow if he does that.
Whoa, Nelly! I'm off Thursday and Friday this week, so it wouldn't have worked this week. Yeah.
Okay.
Going to St. Louis. Bullstream TV.
Ooh, St. Louis.
Was the home yesterday of the 26th annual Wisconsin High School Bowling State Championships. I will first answer your question regarding my hotel room, which was much maligned on Thursday when I brought it up. I did not even bother asking for the late checkout. And it was irritating that
kind of
at 7.
anticlimactic.
So I'm up till 1 in the morning preparing for the state championships because they don't wrap up the stepladder semis on Saturday night till like 11 p.m. So I'm gathering all my notes and info, getting everything prepared. Got to use the hotel printer to try and print off all my notes for everything.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice. But then I got to wake up at 5:30 in the morning, take care of everything that you got to do, pack it all up, go and get my complimentary breakfast that was
Pound
a little
that chicken.
underwhelming, yeah. And then I had to be out the door by 7:15. It would have been nice if I could have gone back afterward and packed up after.
Would have been really
nice, but
Yep.
everyone talked me down from asking, so I didn't even bother.
So how would you self-assess your performance then on Sunday calling the matches? Because that's a tough turnaround. That is grinding. But if you didn't get to bed till after 1, and then you had a call. When was the first match?
8:30. We were on and ready to go.
That's
it's tough.
Good thing you had Earl Anthony Jr. there to help carry you.
Not quite. Emil Williams Jr.
Williams Jr. I'm sorry.
My co-commentator. He is the best. He runs Bullstream TV and everything that they cover all year round. He's awesome. And then we also
no wonder you give him so much free advertising.
We also had he sets everything. It's the easiest job I have. Then we had a pro join us, Gigi Mason. She is also amazing. She stayed for, usually the pro stays for like one of the little matches. She stayed for the entire thing, like 6 hours of it yesterday. It was amazing. Huge, great personality.
Will she join you and trying to bowl 300 with you?
Well, she definitely could bowl it. Like, she's on the PWBA tour. Like, she is really good.
What's her name?
Gigi Mason.
See if Gigi will join you as like she can do it, and then she'll probably finish up shop, and then she can sit and coach you and provide commentary.
If Gigi wanted to be my like celebrity coach for this, she would do it. First of all, we could actually. She has a great foundation. We could have it benefit her foundation. Maybe there we go. So, Gigi was on with us, and here's one of the highlights yesterday that I know when Tausch tuned in, he appreciated this insight from me. I don't know if Gigi did. Had a 6 count in the first frame, now an 8 count here in frame number 2. Gigi, I share every year on these broadcasts my philosophy about spares at this level.
Yeah.
They don't win the match for you, but they do lose it for you if you don't convert.
They sure do.
Pretty dynamite analysis right there.
Dynamite drop in, Monty / Gigi.
Did you not understand what I was saying? Did I not convey that
what
properly?
You were saying, and I understand that there's a lot of airtime to fill. I get it. I understand it. But you sent that little clip over to Jason and I said, you know what? I'm going to tune in. I want to come up with a fun pun. And I listened to that. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have been able to spend 7 to 8 hours watching Bullstream TV. I thought I caught enough. I saw there was a nail biter, a real tight one between Merrill and
Waukesha North. One
pin short. A lot of drama in that matchup. And I love the fact that you see these kids out there battling for a state championship, and Jelly Roll Nelson on the call. It was good.
Jason, did I not set that up well for her? Like,
what do you want her to say? What you said.
I
means
wanted her some more
nothing.
validation of like what I said. Yeah, like you need strikes to win, but if you miss your spares, it doesn't matter how many strikes you get.
Really
you're going to lose.
Said,
yeah, it is.
I understood what it was. Gigi has not worked with you as much as Tausch and I or Emil Williams Jr. have,
or Semmerau.
Yeah,
you imagine
you had another pro
too.
Oh, can you imagine Semi in the mix there? Third man in a
4-person booth? Yeah.
So wait a minute. So you had a pro join you last year, right?
Yeah, there's a pro every year that hops in with us. Yeah,
okay.
It was Norm Duke last year.
Norm Duke is like a legend.
Yeah.
Like Gigi is like an up-and-comer. She's won 12 Olympic medals.
College champion. Yeah, she's really good.
She's very young, though. Norm Duke, not young.
That would be a proper assessment of that situation, yes.
Much like the volleyball official. He's been bowling for 45 years or so. But I just don't think you set it up for Gigi since she doesn't have that rapport with you like we have. We knew what you meant. And Tausch was, I think, I don't want to speak for him, I think Tausch was very authentic in his saying that's a really good line because it is true. If you make all your spares, you give yourself a chance to win. If you miss opportunities and leave open frames, you're probably going to lose the match.
Yeah, and also, another good idea is throw a bunch of strikes. And you want to do that, too. That's another
Super
thing.
authentic, yeah.
You want to make sure you throw strikes. That scores points.
I have a split opinion on whether or not he was being
How was the
authentic.
grub? What did we have? What kind of grub did we get?
They have the bar pizza? French fries?
I ended up getting a buffalo chicken sandwich when
That
all
sounds
was said
good.
and done. It was pretty good.
Okay.
It was pretty good. Emil got a chicken BLT from Ashwaubenon Bowling Alley, and that was by recommendation of
Turkey?
One of the people there.
So again, you're literally in Jason's backyard, and he did not pop over.
Well, he was busy at a volleyball tournament on fighting referees. I understand.
The volleyball tournament
Not only that, the volleyball tournament was in Ashwaubenon. So right nearby.
And he had hours to kill that he'd rather sit there and fight with refs over a Shasta.
What?
Yeah.
Fight with refs over a Shasta.
You went and grabbed a can of Shasta.
How about a Fresca?
Maybe.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
I don't know. It's 11:49. I don't know if you want to hear anything more.
I do.
Or you wanna-
I'd like to hear a little more.
Let's do this. Let's break, and then we can hear more about your weekend to close up shop. Because you need closers like Josh Hader when you're bowling, and maybe some teams had closers and some didn't. Do we have any calls from your broadcast?
I got a good one for you. I got two good ones that I was pretty proud of yesterday.
It's Splitsville for Pittsville, state champions.
I guess we'll all find out together. Is Tausch close?
No.
Is he close on that call?
I hope Pittsville's bowling team makes it.
I don't think I've ever said the name Pittsville before. Yeah.
And Pittsville strikes out. We will find out what Jesse's favorite calls of his own. We started with someone giving their credentials, and now we'll end with Jesse giving his bowling highlights. Next, it's Wilde Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hailstorms can cause widespread damage to one's home. After these storms, dishonest contractors show up, hoping to make a quick buck from your insurance claim. They'll promise anything if they can get you to sign a contract, collect your payment in advance, and ultimately do no work at all. Avoid being the victim of contractor fraud. Get estimates from at least 3 contractors. Check references, and remember, if you didn't request it, reject it.
To report fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB. This is a public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. It's 2024 and an election year. The politicians are out there promising things they won't deliver. One thing is certain. Taxes are what pays for those promises. The IRS collects those taxes, and man, can they be brutal. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. We help you file back tax returns, get liens released, set up payment plans, represent you in audits, and get penalties reduced or eliminated. Some recent clients we helped include getting a $40,000 tax bill reduced by $32,000, filing a 2020 tax return to get a $7,000 refund, and negotiating a payment plan for $250 a month on a $30,000 tax bill. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Getting up to 5% back is easy at Fleet Farm. Fleet Rewards members can earn up to 5% back on every purchase, in-store and online. The earnings stack up automatically. The more you buy, the more you earn. No rebates, no coupons, no hassles. And Fleet Rewards membership is easy, so sign up now and start earning up to 5% back on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply.
Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. They are the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you watch the winnings roll in. You can now win up to 100x on your money. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players, sports, and stat types are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. No matter what sports you're into, basketball, hockey, soccer, tennis, Prize Picks has a game for you. And Prize Picks even offers injury insurance so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. Download the app today. Use the promo code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI on Prize Picks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
The Saganiac Planning Fantastic Finish, January 20th, 2006. A Big East battle at home against Notre Dame. It's 65-all, and Marquette inbounded the ball from midcourt with 12 seconds left. Down to 5 seconds, Joe Chapman on the right wing passed to Steve Novak, who ran in front of Chapman to get the pass. Novak dribbled into the right corner, and with 2 seconds left, faded to the right, put up a jumper just inside the three-point line. It was money. Oh, baby, final. Marquette 67, Notre Dame 65. Who makes dental and vision insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. If you ask yourself who encourages you to use your dental and vision benefits for preventative care, provides quick service, offers access to the largest provider networks, and helps you save money when you need more than a checkup, there's only one answer. Definitely Delta Dental. For more information, call Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
You're listening to Wilde Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Dalton Zeman answers with a strike in the second frame. Now his third frame shot. The messenger gets it to fall.
Oh my gosh.
Some solid pin action here bright and early with Breakfast and Bowling on Full Stream TV.
Amen. Some solid pin action.
Solid pin action.
I was really pushing the Breakfast and Bowling thing on
I noticed.
Full Stream TV.
You like that?
Did
you
you
thought it
have
was alliterative?
Thought it was pretty good.
Was there breakfast there?
Not that I noticed.
So
buffalo chicken.
For the people watching, you're having your coffee and your eggs and bacon and watching some bowling at home. It was 9 in the morning.
You think your fatigue may have factored into the quality of that line?
No, I thought of that the day before. I was pretty proud of that one.
Oh, it was pre-planned.
Yeah, I nanced it.
So how did the teams how did the teams fare?
Well, I mean, half of them won and half of them didn't. I don't know.
I understand. Were there any dramatic moments? Were there any close matches? Were there any blowouts where you and Emil Williams Jr. had to fill time because it was a butt kicking?
Yeah, there were a couple that got a little lopsided later on. One of the best ones. So we had a heavyweight battle between Sun Prairie and Sheboygan in the girls' Division I championship. Those two teams,
are they annually top of the heap?
I compared them. It was like Duke and Kentucky meeting in the championship is what it was like.
Did you use that on Bullstream TV?
I sure did. You bet.
And Sun Prairie has a combined team, even though they've split into two high schools?
It's actually like 4 schools all combined to be the Sun Prairie school, yeah. Here's how Sheboygan's championship moment sounded on Bullstream TV. Whew. Sheboygan gets to celebrate a championship in Ashwaubenon again. They did in 2021, and now again in 2024. Sheboygan wins the Division I Girls State Championship.
The cheering is a nice touch. I like it.
See, preparation, I knew they wanted it there in 2021. That's why we stay up till 1 in the morning.
So, like Aaron Rodgers and Soldier Field, they own Ashwaubenon Lanes.
They own it. They still own it.
Tausch, your critique before we go?
Pretty good. Jesse does a great job, and there is a passion from Jesse, and that's why this 24-hour, or now it looks like 5-day Bowlapalooza is a perfect fit for Jesse.
We await the details on it. We still don't have them. All I can tell you is that's the end of today's show. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Remember to pound the chicken. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my favorite go-to drink. That's Carbless. Carbless is a ready-to-drink, handcrafted vodka and tequila cocktail. Even better, it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. And listen to this, less carbonation. This leads to less bloat. I can indulge in something delicious without having that health guilt. Carbless is crafted right here in Wisconsin. It has a flavor for everyone, from black raspberry to cranberry, pineapple and lemon, and my favorite, margarita. Find Carbless online and at a retailer near you. Less is more.
the Bucks Bar Network, presented by Michelob Ultra and Bally Sports Wisconsin, boasts the best spots to cheer on the Deer when you're not at Pfizer Forum. With official Bucks Bar Network locations throughout the entire state, you can catch every single game. Pair the edge of your seat action, freakish plays, and championship caliber Bucks basketball with a Michelob Ultra. Visit bucks.com/bars to find the Bucks Bar Network location near you.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, best-selling author and founder of the Neal Group. I have some questions for you. Who does your books? Hopefully not you. There are better things for you to do in running your business. Do you trust the numbers? Good numbers are critical for making good decisions. Are you getting the advice you need to minimize your taxes and put more money in your pocket? A good advisor makes suggestions to help your business grow and minimize taxes, not just put numbers on a form. Do your calls get returned and your questions answered? Many of our new clients tell us they love our quick response time. We have helped countless businesses increase their profits and lower stress. Get the advice you want